Hello everyone and welcome again to making a Henry Stickmin Fangame. Now I have lots of things to say in this episode, but let's go ahead and start the process. You can see that I have some new sprites added. I'll have them linked in the description. Download and put them in your Fangame. Now you can see I am going to create a new message called menu and replace all the green flag detectors with that message in all the sprites that make an appearance in the menu of the game. It's because we are making the map, menu, achievement and BIOS buttons in the game, so we need the existing code to be compatible with these buttons. We have to leave one green flag detector and attach a send message block to it, and that message should be a menu of course, as we will need to trigger the menu when we click the flag. We also need the sprites to hide when you click the green flag but show up when they receive the menu message. There's really no point on doing this, but it will help if you need to add something before starting the game. Now you have to drag a show block, then a receive message block and attach both of them. Then change the message to the message we made earlier to trigger the menu. Then copy that script to all three achievements, fails and BIOS buttons as seen in the video. Now make a copy of that script we copied, change the message to the message that hides the menu, and change the show block attached to a hide block. Then copy that script to the three sprites too. Now go to the fails sprite and copy that no failed sprite and change the message to the message that is triggered when we click the play button. And that has to go into the three sprites too. I know you might be tired from copying and pasting right now, but we don't have time for breaks. Sorry poule. After you are done with all that copy pasting, go to the map button sprite and scroll down until you find this empty if condition block. Make a message sender block and name the message to the menu message. Then make a message receiver block, change the message to the menu message and attach a hide block in it. Then put it in all four map, menu, achievements and BIOS buttons. Okay, so, wait, when did I delete that music file? Okay, so as I was saying, we need to make these four buttons appear when a choice screen appears, so as usual we do the receiver and show blocks, change the message to the choices message and copy that. I know that's getting monotonous, but trust me, you would be interested to think how I am handling all that and still making Henry Stickmin Fangames for straight 3 years, 3 years wasted, I guess. Anyway, make sure to make the black background of the choice screen you can see in the stage disappear when you go to the menu. Alright, so I've tested the progress and we have a bug with the backgrounds and the options not hiding on the menu. So we are copying that hide when menu triggered script over to all the sprites that exist in the choice screen. You also have to make the fade sprite emit the white fade thing in the very beginning when you trigger the menu, so the thing to do is replacing the green flag detecting block with a message receiver with the message as the menu message. And also make sure to change the background to the menu one when the menu is triggered. Now go to the play button sprite and bring a set variable block and set the value to 1. Then, change the variable to a block buttons and put it in the if condition in the click detection script. Then, copy that variable block to the script that shows the button when the menu is triggered. Then set the value to 0. Now, to make the options not run in the background when you go to the menu, add a stop other scripts and sprite block to all option sprites in the script that makes them hide when the menu is triggered. Now you might have found out that the white fade doesn't happen when going to the menu from a choice, so you have to add a set effect to block and change the effect to ghost and value to 0. Now, the buttons do not work from the choices for some reason, so I am going to go to the Dave sprite and add a variable block that sets the block button's variable to 0 when a choice is triggered. Alright, so this part is a little bit difficult to explain, so all I have to say is watch carefully. Alright, so I am going to take a screenshot of Dave's face for the bio cards. I am using snipping tool for this, you can use anything you like. Now we have got the picture, let's put it into his bio button. Alright, so after all this artwork and stuff, we are back to coding. We are going to make the BIOS now. First, put a click detecting block, then a if condition. Afterwards, go to variables and create a new variable named davebioe. Then add an equation block and put it in the condition block. Then put the newly created variable in one end and the value 0 in the other end. Afterwards, convert the if condition to a if-else block, then add two message sending blocks, one each in both parts of the condition. In the if part, name the message to new bio, and in the else part, name the message to bio owned. Then copy that to all sprites that are Dave. I should have created a separate sprite as a hitbox to collect the bio, but I am lazy, so I applied it to Dave. Then, go to the bio button sprite that appears in the menu, and scroll down until you find the script which changes the button between a silver one and a gold one. Then add an equation block and do the same thing we did before, Dave's bio variable in one side, but the value has to be 1 this time. Now, go to the achievements sprite and scroll down until you find this script I am hovering over. Then, put the same equation block and the values and variables in the empty slot. Then, scroll down until you find this script and do the same there. Now, go to the Dave sprite in the yell option and put a if block and bring a list contains block and change the list to the fails list and set the value to 1. Then, bring a not block and put the list contains block in it, then put both of them in the boolean in the condition. Then, put a add value to list block and set the value to 1 and list to fails. Then, put it in the script right before broadcasting the fail message. Now, go to the other Dave sprite, bring a set variable block and change the variable to Dave bio and the value to 1. Then, copy the block, put it in the if condition of the click detection script in both Dave sprites. I should have done this early when making these scripts, but I forgot. Sorry buddies. Now, one problem is solved, but the next one is, the map, menu, achievements and BIOS buttons do not hide when you call an option. So, we have to create message receiver blocks for each option in your Fangame, then attach a hide block, then copy these scripts to all 4 buttons. Keep in mind that every button should hide when any option is triggered, that means a lot of copy and pasting. Now if you are done with all the copy pasting, you should get ready to work on the map. We have to make the same list contains thing we did to detect the fail, this time for the other list, choices collected. Do this script in a sprite that has a script start when they get the choices 1 message. I suggest the first Dave from the intro. This will help the map to detect the choices unlocked. This is not necessary for the very first choice screen, as the map is unlocked from there, but you need it for the other choices. And we have another bug right now with the BIOS unlocked achievement coming up when you start the game. So you have to make sure the Dave bio variable is at 0 when starting. Just like filling stations, huh? Now, we have to set everything to 0 when the green flag is clicked. The lists and BIOS are already done, but the ending is not. For that, make a variable named ending and set it to 0 and add that block after any green flag block. And that's the end for this part. If you made it here, like this video and subscribe to our channel. See you in the final part, the ending of this game. Bye bye.